You know, there's a reason why there's that expression, dying of embarrassment. Have you ever done something that you've been so embarrassed about, you just felt like you wanted to die, or I just want to die? You know why? Because at that point, dying actually felt like a better option than the embarrassment that we were feeling. And we've all been there. But here's the problem. If we have too many of those instances, we can develop a fear of making a fool of ourselves, a fear of being embarrassed, a fear of being humiliated. And that can cripple us, and it can stop us. It can actually get in the way and hold us back from true success and happiness in life. So in today's program, I'm going to give you some tips and tools on how you can overcome that fear if you've got it, and also how you can deal with those embarrassing, humiliating, I feel stupid moments in the future. So let's get into this right now. Well, welcome to today's program. I am so pumped that you're here. Today, we're talking about the fear of humiliation, or the fear of feeling stupid, dumb, or embarrassed, right? So we're continuing this series, this six-part series, this six-part series on the 6 biggest fears that are holding you back from true success and happiness in life. If you missed any of the other programs, don't worry, we'll put them in a playlist. There'll be a link at the end of the program that you can click on, or there's also in the description below, I'll put some links in there of the previous program. So you want to make sure you get a hold of all of them, because they all kind of lead hand in hand, step in step, on how we can truly live the best, most successful life, and don't let these things hinder us anymore, all right? Okay, so let's get into this. But first, a very quick disclaimer before we get going. If anybody could talk to you and teach you or help you or guide you through being getting out of feeling embarrassed all the time or humiliated all the time, I'm your guy, because I have this knack of just getting myself in the most unreal situations, the most embarrassing, humiliating situations. You know, we don't have time. I could write a book on all of the crazy situations I've been in. As a matter of fact, a lot of my close friends, they always say, they sometimes say that I live in a cartoon world, because the things that I do or get into, or the trouble I get into, or what my mouth gets me into, I don't know what gets me into it, but that it only happens in the cartoons. So I have firsthand experience on how to deal with this. I have put my foot in my mouth many times. But let's get into this. I have a lot that I want to unpack, and I want to unpack it clearly, quickly, but clearly and simple, so that these can be implemented in your daily life and you can start implementing them today. Now, the first thing that I want you to do when you think of an embarrassing moment, or when you're coming into a situation that could be embarrassing, I want you to always remember what time it is. Okay? What time it is. Because the truth is, all the embarrassing, humiliating things that you have done in your life are in the past. Okay? They're not in the present. They're not happening right now. You're just reminding yourself of them. When you're going into a social situation and you start feeling anxiety and nervousness and fear that, oh man, I'm going to do something stupid, or I'm going to say something dumb, it's the reason you're saying that is because you're remembering the things in the past, the things that have happened in the past, where, you know, maybe you did something like just out of this world. You did something just really dumb. You said something dumb, and someone made a crack at you, like, oh, you're an idiot, or you're stupid, or boy, that was dumb. And you're reminding yourself of that. So now you're going into that same sort of social situation, and you're saying to yourself, oh boy, I better not do that again. Oh boy, I better not do that again. So if all of a sudden you're finding yourself in this situation, where you're starting to feel that come upon you, that fear of you know, humility, oh my God, I don't want to be dumb. Oh, we start feeling that. Just remind yourself, give yourself a little slap on the wrist. Today's today. Today's a new day, right? So don't live in the past, live in the present. Okay, it didn't happen today, it happened before. Okay, cool. So let's move on to step 2. Hey, by the way, if you're getting value out of this, hit that like button. I would love it. Smash it. Let's do this. All right, come on now. All right, let's go into step number 2. Okay, so here's the second thing I want you to do and start doing immediately. Now, this is coming from a Canadian, okay? So Canadians are famous for this, all right? I want you to stop apologizing so much. Canadians, that's all we do. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm sorry. It's always our fault. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And you know what? We do that. When we get into situations where we say something silly or dumb, or we feel like we said something dumb, or we misunderstood somebody. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I apologize for that. You know, forget it. Why are you apologizing all the time? Why are you sorry to them that you maybe said something dumb? It's not nothing to do with them. So don't worry about them. And as well, the big thing is, don't apologize for past things, right? Don't come back into a situation that you were in before and say, you know, before we get started, I just want to apologize because last time we were here, this happened, and and I feel really bad, and Stop apologizing. All you're doing is you're reminding yourself of that moment of humiliation, that moment of embarrassment, that moment of ugh. And you're just bringing those feelings right back up to the present. You're bringing them right back up where they can be infected again, where they can start to guide you again. So the past, more than likely, it was a bigger deal to you than it was to anybody else. Matter of fact, have you ever told somebody something like, hey, I'm sorry that I said this, or I'm sorry that I said this when this happened, and they go, oh, I didn't even realize? Now, come on. Forget about it. Move on. Okay, so no more sorries, especially that's coming from a Canadian. All right, let's go on to the next step here. So this third piece of advice, or this third tip that I have for the fear of humiliation or embarrassment and whatnot. Now, you might not be in the situation, okay, and I hope you're not. But if you are, if you all of a sudden are a person that's starting to avoid certain situations because you'd made a mistake or were humiliated in the past there, right? So, okay, here's the thing. When I was in school, I put my hand up one time when I was in elementary school. The teacher asked a question, I put my hand up. I got it wrong. Everybody laughed. I was really dumb. I was like way off base. I don't remember what it was. And I was so embarrassed, so humiliated that I never wanted to put my hand up again. Matter of fact, I'd be sitting in class and the teacher would say, okay, everybody raise their hands. I'm going to pick somebody. I would immediately start having like anxiety. My face would go red. My heart would start beating. I'd start to sweat. I just didn't want him to call my name because I was constantly reminded of that time that I was so embarrassed. So I would avoid certain situations to avoid that feeling of humiliation, of anxiety, of embarrassment. All right. So if you find that you're avoiding certain situations because you were embarrassed or humiliated in the past, you need just to get back on that bike and you just need to get over it and get through it. Do not hold yourself. See, if you're avoiding situations, you're avoiding potential opportunities that could be amazing for your life, opportunities that you might, who knows what could happen that day when you go do this thing. All right. The last thing you want to do in life, if you really want to love life, if you really want to do life, you really want to experience life, don't avoid situations because you're fearful. And again, remember all what I said before. It was in the past. It happened once. Big deal. It's happened many, 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 many times to many, 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 many people. So don't stop yourself from doing it. Take a deep breath, get some courage, and just step into it. The actuality of the exact same thing happening to you the exact same way is probably 1% chance that it's ever going to happen. But you're just telling yourself over and over again, I just can't face it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't face it. You have to face it. I'm so sorry. You have to face it. You're watching this because you want to have a successful life. You're watching this because you want to be successful, right? You want success. You want to have a happy life, a fulfilled life. Well, then you're going to have to take some deep breaths and you're going to have to step into situations. It's just the way it is. All right. So let's do this. Come on, step in there and do it. Don't avoid any situations. All right. I'm actually having a bit of fun with this. I hope you can tell. It's kind of, it's funny because as I'm telling you these things, I'm remembering crazy, stupid, embarrassing, humiliating moments in my life, and I'm actually laughing about them, which is a good sign, right? Anyway, here's my next tool for you, next tip for you. I need you to look in the mirror. All right. What does that mean? Well, let me read you something here, and I really thought this was awesome. It goes like this. I'm not who I think I am, nor am I who you think I am, but I am who I think you think I am. All right, let me read that to you again because I had to read this about 18 times to myself before I got it. I'm not who I think I am, nor am I who you think I am, but I am who I think you think I am. Okay, just repeat that to yourself a couple times. Just really let that absorb into you. Okay, so do you get it? Most people, or a lot of people, get their identity and form their identity based on what they think other people think of them, not on what they think about themselves. They let other people's reality, what they think people think of them, base their life, right? Oh, they think I'm an idiot. Oh, I embarrass myself in front of them. Oh, I can't do that. I can't do this because I'm this way, I'm that way. Nah, forget about what other people might think about you. Just dump that, run away, cut it, chop it, right? This is about you. You are the only one that can tell you how good you are. Come on now. You are awesome. Why? Because you are. Because you're you. Right? So don't base your own self-worth or your own identity or your own path to success based on what you think others think of you. Not a chance. And when you start thinking that way, you won't be so embarrassed to go into situations, or you won't be so nervous about saying something that you might think is dumb, right? Or that you might think is, or you tell a joke and no one laughs. Oh, that was stupid. I was dumb. No, you weren't. They had a bad sense of humor. It's not your fault. Come on now. Change your mode, right? Start looking at yourself. Start looking at you for who you are, not for who you think, or not for what you think others think you are. right? Okay, let's move on. Okay, give me a like for that one. Come on now. Okay, all right. Now here's my next tool, and this is really cool. And this is where, you know what I just said a minute ago, that I've been laughing, like I'm sitting here thinking of these crazy moments and humiliating moments in my life, and I'm actually giggling and laughing about them. You know what? Again, they're in the past. I can't change them. They happened, right? Oh well, I'm over them. But you know what? You need to stop and just laugh. Like, think of all the crazy things that have happened to you, or when you were embarrassed, humiliated, and just think about how either silly they were, how dumb they were, how dumb you made yourself feel about them. Just, you got to laugh them off. And if you really want to take this a step further, why don't you like come up with like your top 3 most embarrassing, humiliating moments, the ones that you maybe still think of to this day, because I know there's some people that to this day we still have this moment in time that we were so humiliated that we hold it there like a treasure. Well, you know what? Let's dig up that treasure, write it down on a piece of paper, and then find some humor in it and kind of laugh about it a bit. Kind of look at it from a whole different perspective. Look at it from today, looking in, looking down. And why don't you look at it as if your friend or your partner or one of your kids was telling you this story and they were so upset about it, what would you say to them to make them feel better? Huh? That's it, right? Start coaching yourself and write them down and then laugh about them and have a whole new perspective on them. So then when those moments that come back that are reminding you of this moment, you're like, oh yeah, that was a funny moment. That was a crazy moment from my past. Let me tell you about this moment, right? So you got to do it. Matter of fact, you really want to have some fun? Why don't you put one of your most crazy, most embarrassing moments in the comments below? And then as a community, why don't we can comment down and let's get into a little run of things, because once you see other people's silly, humiliating moments and we can laugh about them, then maybe yours don't even seem that bad anymore, right? And you can go out and face those fears. You can go out and face those situations again, because it's going to be all right. All right. Hit the like button. Hey, if you haven't subscribed and you're not a subscriber to this channel, I would love you to join our community. We're growing fast, but we're having fun, and it's all about simple, easy, practical tips and tools for everyday life to make your life better today than it was yesterday. So let's not live life, let's just go out and do life. All right, so come join us. It'd be awesome. Join us. All right, so let's get into the next little tool here. All right, here is my final tip. Allow yourself to tilt. And what does that mean? You know, on the last episode, I talked a lot about perfectionism and not trying to be perfect all the time. And really, it just falls into that same category. And if you really look at that perfectionist syndrome that some of us may have, and that's the reason, you know, when I was talking about laughing at some of our old humiliations, if you sat there and said, oh my God, laugh, how can I laugh at that? He doesn't understand. Like, you know what? Again, you're probably putting your perfectionism on some level shelf that says, well, you know what, if I wasn't, I'm not that good because I wouldn't have done this, right? So you got to lower your level a little bit here. Lower your level, come back down to reality, and stop putting the bar so high for you, okay? You need to laugh it off a bit, and you need to tilt a bit. Now, what's the thing? If we don't tilt a bit, sometimes we'll just fall over. I don't want you to fall over, but I want you to tilt. You need to allow yourself to make mistakes. You need to allow yourself to be embarrassed sometimes. You need to allow yourself to be dumb sometimes. Now, hopefully that doesn't offend you when I say that, but you just need to allow yourself to we all make mistakes. We all do silly things. We've all done things we regret. We've all been humiliated. It's a fact of life, right? You're no different. I'm no different. We're exactly the same. Now, here's what I'm going to do. Again, because I honestly think you need to kind of get out of your shell a little bit. I'll put some of my bloopers here at the end here, because I might as well embarrass myself a little bit, humiliate myself a little bit. So they're going to come up here right in 2 seconds. So don't go anywhere, because they're pretty bad. But there's the whole thing, okay, with humiliation and stuff. You got to face it. You got to go back into situations that you may not be wanting to go back into. You got to look at it from a whole different perspective, right? Look at it from who you are today. Think of things you would have done differently or said differently. And here's my last piece of advice. If you're going into a social situation that you've maybe said something wrong or embarrassing or humiliating, then you need to be a better listener than a speaker. Okay, maybe go into your next situation and just sit back and listen more, right? Don't have to think you have to come up with something to say to be cool or classy or or smart or intelligent. If it's at work, don't think you have to say something in a meeting just because if I don't say something, they'll think I wasn't listening, right? That's often the times we'll say something that are we might embarrass ourselves with. So unless you have something really important to add, then add it. If you don't, just be quiet. Just listen. Take it out. Take a breath. Don't worry about it. All right? Okay. Now, listen. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Hit the like button. And in the comments, let's do that. If you've got the you know what's, why don't you just, share with, you'll help somebody. If you share one of your embarrassing, humiliating moments, keep it clean, but you'll help somebody, right? And then if you see someone's comment, maybe comment in there, hey, been there, done it, or whatever. Let's just have a little bit of fun with this, because I think as we see that other people have done the same things and we can make light of it, you'll actually maybe feel a little bit lighter about it. So watch these bloopers and then stay tuned till the end here. I'll put the playlist up if you haven't seen the other videos. And if not, go check out another video. I appreciate you. I love where we're going. I thank you so much for your loyalty, your support, and for watching these videos. And until we see you again, remember, don't just live life. You got to do life, and you got to do it today. There's an expression that's called, there's an expression that we say, there's an expression that we talk about, so this fear, that just sounded stupid. All right, one more time, here we go. Not bad, that was all right. Boy, that sucked. Well, that was good. I like that. Boom, boom. I like that. Do-do-do.